So I'm doing the cruise control conversion on an NA Miata, excuse me, 90 to 97. And this cruise stock assembly is ungodly expensive for that generation. But I have two NB Miata parts cars. This one's a race car, and so I don't need this cruise control pulled off of it. Unfortunately, this piece is pulled out right now while I'm doing an engine swap. So the pigtail is wrong, but this stock assembly is the same, or at least we're going to try it out. And obviously I'm not going to post this video if it doesn't work, but to get this out, you got to loosen those two. There's one, and there's the other. There's the two Phillips screws on the back. You loosen those up first to pull that stock out. And I'm going to pull this wire that trails down. So this is after I loosened up the screws. This assembly will pop out of here. When you loosen those screws up, you can get enough gap to pull that out. Be gentle. There's these little tabs on here, I suppose, could break off if you're not careful with it. So just be careful with it. So I was wrong about the wiring for the cruise control function trailing down through this harness. So I can't pull those pins out. It goes into the column, into a circuit board here. So actually I'm going to have to cut those wires. I might have to cut these wires and then make them longer on the NA car. Alright, so here's my NB Miata stock removed, cruise control stock. I do have an NA Miata, one that I bought. I've been having other issues. I had a clutch pedal switch go out, so it's been giving me a little grief. You can see I bought another cruise control module even. There's other videos on how to do this swap. This isn't what this one's covering. It's just specifically this NB Miata conversion for that stock. Anyway, so this is the harness plug off the NA Miata that's related to, like if I take this stock out of here and run these wires down, this is the plug that belongs to it. You can see the colors for the wires are different than the colors on this one, but this switch still does the same function. Like when you hit resume, accelerate, it puts continuity between the black and the yellow on this NA one. And then when you hit set coast, it'll put continuity between the black and the blue on this plug here. The wiper function is actually in this part of the switch, and so that's why you'll be able to just plug that right in there and everything will work. On this one, when you hit resume, accelerate, it puts continuity between this blue-red wire and the yellow-brown wire. And when you hit set coast on the NB Miata, it puts it between continuity between the blue-red wire and the green-brown here. Sorry, I'm trying to read my notes while I'm grabbing wires here. This green-brown wire. So I'm going to go ahead and label these up where they actually get plugged into the harness on the car itself. And I'll show you that. So you didn't really need to know all these little details, but I just wanted to give you a general idea how I discovered that all this works. Basically, just because all this switch does is put continuity between a couple wires. And then that tells your little computer what to do with that information. Alright, so I did confirm that all this works. Now I'm going to show you how the wires off this NB Miata cruise control stalk, where the wires plug into the harness at. So the bottom wires, of course, are on the NB stock, and then this plug and The rest of the harness there are on the NA Miata. So this yellow and brown wire connects to the white and red. This blue and red wire connects to the black. And I'm going to turn this around. The green and brown wire connects to the red and black wire. Hopefully that shows up in the video, but I'm not going to, I'm not doing this to show you the conversion because there's already fantastic videos out there. I'm going to try and link to it. You'll probably see it on the part of the plugged into the top of the screen there. I'm going to link to that video, at least one of them, the one that I use. A lot of people do this conversion because on later NA Miatas, the harnesses are already there. All the wiring is already there. You just have to buy the parts that are needed to run the cruise control. And this is one of the harder to acquire and more expensive parts, this cruise control stock. Often it's more expensive on NAs than on NBs, depending on the time of year that you're buying it. When you go to eBay, if it's in the warm months when people are doing this kind of stuff, these parts on the NAs are really expensive, but this can be acquired really inexpensively off an NB Miata. You just have to clip the wires. I'm not going to have to extend these at all either. The wiring that I clipped off is enough. I'll probably just tape it in there like that because I've soldered the tips on that so they're real stiff off the NB stock, and I've got them jammed in there. It's not like there's a lot of movement on these wires. I'll probably tape it up and call it good. Of course, you can just use an NA stock and it'll plug right in. If somebody knows where I can acquire the other half of this connector off something that's more common, some other Mazda, put it down in the comments, and then I'll post it on the description of the video if somebody has that, where they can get one of these connectors at. But I don't know a cheap way to acquire one of those. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you got something out of this. Hopefully this was helpful. I need subscribers. I don't particularly need viewing hours to be monetized. Thanks again.